It is great to be back in the Peach State. Thank you all for coming out. This looks like come January 5th here in Georgia, we're going to have us a rodeo. I want to thank, would you join me in just thanking former Governor Sonny Perdue, one of the greatest Americans I have ever known. And Commissioner Bubba McDonald, State GOP Chairman David Schaefer. And I got to tell you, it's a particular privilege for me to be in the home district of one of the greatest allies this administration has had on Capitol Hill. He's a courageous and fearless man, a principled conservative, and a man of integrity and faith. Join me in thanking Congressman Doug Collins for all he's done for Georgia and America. Great man. But it really is great to be with so many friends today. Thank you for coming out. Speaking of friends of mine, allow me to bring greetings from another friend of mine. I told him I was headed to Georgia today, and to be honest with you, I thought he looked just a little bit jealous. So let me bring greetings from a leader who has been fighting to keep the promises that he made to the people of Georgia every single day. I bring greetings from the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. Like all of you, I'm here because I stand with President Donald Trump. But I'm also here because President Trump and I stand with Senator David Perdue and Senator Kelly Loeffler. I really appreciate you all coming out. I truly do. The President and I couldn't be more grateful for the support of the people across the great state of Georgia over the past 4 years and over the past 2 weeks. It's amazing to think, so far in this election, President Trump has received more than 73 million votes, more than any Republican candidate for president in history, more than any incumbent president in history, and the greatest share of minority votes of any Republican in 60 years. And I will tell you, as our election contests continue here in Georgia and in courts across America, I promise you, we're going to keep fighting until every legal vote is counted. We're going to keep fighting until every illegal vote is thrown out. And whatever the future holds, we will never stop fighting to make America great again. That's why, in addition to all your support for this president, that's why Georgia and America need David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler back in a Republican majority in the United States Senate. We need the Peach State to defend the Senate, and the road to a Republican majority goes straight through Georgia. Are you with me? You know, we need Georgia to send these two great senators back to a Republican majority because of who they are, because of all we've accomplished, and because of the Republican Senate majority. Could be the last line of defense in preserving all that we've done to defend this nation, revive our economy, and preserve the God-given liberties that we all hold dear. But I'm here first and foremost because of who they are. Like a son of Macon, who after high school enrolled at Georgia Tech, paid his way through college by working warehouse and construction jobs. He eventually would put together an extraordinary career in business, reach the very top of the business world. A 40-year successful business career, but he's a man of faith. He felt a calling to public service. And he stepped forward 6 years ago, and I can tell you firsthand, he's been one of the greatest allies of our agenda and of President Donald Trump in Washington, D.C. Would you join me in thanking Senator David Perdue? Incredible man. Been a champion for Georgia and Georgia's values. Just like another leader, fourth generation on her family's farm. She built her own company from the ground up here in Georgia. She made history breaking barriers in business and in sports for women to become one of Georgia's most successful businesswomen ever. And she, too, was willing to step forward and serve this state. And I can tell you, every day she's been in the United States Senate, she has been an unapologetic champion of our agenda and the conservative values that make Georgia great. Senator Kelly Loeffler, thank you for your great leadership. So it's about who they are, but it's also about everything that we've accomplished with allies like these in Washington, D.C. It's amazing to think all that we've done. 4 years ago, we inherited a military that had been hollowed out by devastating budget cuts, an economy that was struggling to break out of the slowest recovery since the Great Depression. Terrorism was on the rise around the world, and we witnessed a steady assault on our most cherished values. But with these allies, and under the leadership of President Donald Trump, we rebuilt our military. We revived our economy. We secured our border, stood with law enforcement, and fought for life and liberty and the Constitution of the USA. And everything starts with our national defense. You may not know that the Pence family is a bit of a military family. My son, I'm proud to say, my son's a captain in the United States Marine Corps. And one of my two unworthy son-in-laws is a lieutenant in the United States Navy, currently deployed and serving our nation. And I have to tell you, I couldn't be more proud to serve alongside a president who cares so deeply about the men and women of our armed forces. President Donald Trump, with the strong support of our allies in Congress, signed the largest increase in our national defense since the days of Ronald Reagan. We're finally giving our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guard the resources and support they need to defend this nation. And let me say, as we restored the arsenal of democracy, from his seat on the Senate Armed Services Committee, Senator David Perdue has been there every step of the way. But it's not just been about those who serve, but also about all of you who did serve in the uniform of the United States. In fact, standing in this patriotic crowd here in Georgia, I'm confident that there's a lot of women and men that served in our armed forces. So if you wouldn't mind, if you're a veteran of our armed forces, would you just put your hand in the air and give us a chance to thank you one more time? Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you for our freedom. You know, we all remember, especially these veterans, under the last administration, we saw years of scandal at the VA that shocked the conscience of the nation. But with the strong support from her seat on the Veterans Affairs Committee, Senator Kelly Loeffler was there as President Trump implemented the most sweeping reforms of the VA in 50 years. We fired 10,000 VA employees that were not giving our veterans the health care that they earned, and Veterans Choice is now available for every veteran in America. Thank you, Senator Loeffler. And with that renewed American strength, we've stood up to our enemies and stood with our allies all these last 4 years. The direction of our Commander-in-Chief, our armed forces took down the last inch of territory under the black flag of ISIS and eliminated their leader without one American casualty. With the strong support of both of your senators, this president stood strong against Iran. We got out of the Iran nuclear deal, and the Iranian general Qasem Soleimani is gone. So we've stood strong against those who would threaten our freedom and our peace. But we've also stood with our most cherished ally like never before. After 4 presidents in a row promised and didn't do it, it was President Donald Trump who kept his word and moved the American embassy to Jerusalem, the capital of the state of Israel. So it's been about our security, but it's also been about prosperity these last 4 years. And after the slowest recovery since the Great Depression, working with Senator Perdue and Senator Loeffler, President Donald Trump revived our economy. We cut taxes across the board. We rolled back regulation at a historic pace. We fought for free and fair trade, unleashed American energy, and in 3 short years, businesses large and small created 7 million good-paying jobs. And even in this challenging year, after losing 22 million jobs at the height of this global pandemic, on that strong foundation we poured with our allies in the Congress, and the unprecedented recovery and relief efforts for families and businesses that Senator Perdue and Senator Loeffler provided, we've already seen more than 12 million Americans go back to work, including 350,000 people right here in the Peach State. And David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler were there every step of the way. Frankly, beyond our prosperity, beyond our security, I couldn't be more proud to stand with 2 leaders and to serve with a president who has stood every day with the men and women who serve on the thin blue line of law enforcement. President Trump, David Perdue, and Kelly Loeffler will always back the blue. Beyond that, we've supported the rule of law as never before. And this is where the Senate looms so large. Remember, the president nominates men and women to serve in our federal courts, but it's the Senate that confirms. Working with Georgia's senators, we've actually seen more than 220 conservatives appointed to our federal courts at every level, and they are all men and women who will uphold the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution, like the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, and the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. "220 judges, including Justice Neil Gorsuch, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and Justice Amy Coney Barrett." Isn't she great? I In her confirmation hearing, how much did you love it when they said, "What do you got written on that paper in front of you?" Nothing, right? Just an amazing person. And I got to tell you, Senator Perdue and Senator Loeffler were there every step of the way as the President of the United States fulfilled his duty to fill that seat. In fact, let me take this opportunity to thank Senator Loeffler. She was the first member of the United States Senate to call for a confirmation vote of Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Thank you, Senator. The strong judiciary, the vanguard in the Senate, has never been more important. You all remember in the last administration, steady assault on our most cherished liberties, including the freedom of religion. The last administration actually compromised the conscience rights of doctors and nurses and religious charities. They actually hauled the Little Sisters of the Poor into federal court to force them to compromise their faith, to live under the mandates of Obamacare. And you all might remember when Judge Amy Coney Barrett was being confirmed a couple years ago, the Democrat leader of the Judiciary Committee actually said she was concerned because of Judge Barrett's sincere Catholic faith. She said, and I quote, "The dogma lives loudly within you." And their friends in Hollywood have been attacking Judge Amy Coney Barrett and her values ever since. Well, I got a message for the Democrats in Washington and their friends in Hollywood and the two Democrats that are trying to join them from here in Georgia. That dogma lives loudly in me. That dogma lives loudly in you. And the right to live and worship according to the dictates of our faith lives loudly in the Constitution of the United States of America. That's why, one more reason why we need these two great senators back in the United States Senate. And we've accomplished so much. Prosperity, security, strengthening the foundation under our liberties. But I have to tell you, maybe most of all, I couldn't be more proud to be standing today with two members of the United States Senate and with a president who stand without apology for the sanctity of human life. So men and women of Georgia, for who they are, for all that we've accomplished, we need Senator David Perdue and Senator Kelly Loeffler back in a Republican majority in the United States Senate. We need Georgia to defend the majority on January 5, 2021. Are you with me? I think you all know the stakes in this election. The choice in this election has never been clearer. Where David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler stand for a strong national defense, Raphael Warnock and Jon Ossoff are going to cut our national defense to fund their big government programs. Don't you doubt it for a minute. A couple weeks before the election, Democrats in Washington were already talking about deep cuts in our national defense to fund their new big government projects. And Raphael Warnock has demeaned our military. He repeatedly has defended anti-Semitic rhetoric and even ridiculed our most cherished ally, Israel. And where David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler cut taxes and are going to keep defending the right to keep more of what you earn, Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock want to raise taxes on working families and businesses large and small. And where Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock are talking about defunding the police, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler will always back the blue. where John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock want to support activist judges who will literally legislate from the bench and support taxpayer funding of abortion all the way up to the moment of birth. David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler will stand for the principles in our Constitution and the right to life every single day. You all know the stakes here in Georgia. Chuck Schumer said the other day, now we take Georgia, then we change America. But I got a message for Chuck Schumer and the Washington Democrats. We're going to keep Georgia. And we're going to save America. I mean, our agenda is American greatness. Their agenda is American decline. Where we're opening up America, I promise you, they're going to be locking down America again. They get half a chance. In fact, remember when the Democrats said it would be impossible to actually have a vaccine by the end of the year? I got a news flash for you, folks. Pfizer turned their vaccine over to the FDA today. Before the end of this year, we're going to see 40 million vaccines all across America. That's the leadership of President Donald Trump. We're in the miracle business. I mean, you all know John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock's agenda is higher taxes, open borders, socialized medicine, a Green New Deal, abortion on demand, defunding the police, and packing the courts. John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock are wrong for Georgia and wrong for America. That's why we need Georgia to say no to Ossoff and Warnock and yes to Senator David Perdue and Senator Kelly Loeffler on January 5. So, Georgia, I came here today to say stay in the fight. Stay in the fight for the integrity in this election. Stay in the fight to defend the Republican majority. And stay in the fight until the polls close on January 5th and we send David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler back to a Republican majority in the United States Senate. That's why I got on the bus today. That's why I headed your way. Stand with these two great leaders. Stand with all of you. I got a couple things to ask you to do in the weeks ahead. First thing I need you to do is vote, Georgia. Vote to re-elect David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler to the United States Senate. I'm told early in-person voting starts Monday, December 14th. My last stop, I said the local office opens at 8:30 a.m. So let me ask all of you that came to this rodeo today. Grab a neighbor. Grab a family member. Remember, friends don't let friends vote alone. Get out and vote to re-elect David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler the moment they open early voting. And secondly, I want you to tell somebody why you came out today and why you feel so passionate. And the people of Georgia deserve to know just how important this election is. We need you to stay in the fight and encourage others to stay in the fight. Georgia will loom large in the future of this Senate. Make no mistake about it. I know Georgia's up to the task. I know Georgia is going to hold the line. So vote as soon as you can. Tell a friend the stakes in this election. And finally, I encourage you to have faith. Have faith in our president. Who made America great again and will never stop fighting to make America greater still. Have faith in leaders like David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, men and women of integrity, who when the Klieg lights are off and the cameras are off, I can tell you, they stand for principle every single day. They've been defenders of Georgia's values, been a champion for everything that we know has made this country great. And as you go out and talk to your neighbors and friends, have faith in the people of this great state. You know, I truly do believe that careful study of history shows that every time the American people are given a choice between a future of more freedom and a future of less freedom, the American people choose freedom every single time. So go tell them freedom's on the ballot on January 5. And finally, I'd encourage you to have that other kind of faith as well. You know, somebody sent me a quote the other day from Corrie ten Boom, who said, you can trust an unknown future to a known God. We may not know what the future holds, but we know who holds the future. So I'd encourage you to avail yourself in these days of that wellspring of strength the people of Georgia and America have always drawn in much more challenging times than we live in today. And remember that ancient promise that if his people who are called by his name will humble themselves and pray and turn, that he'll do like he's always done in the long and storied history of this nation. He'll hear from heaven and he'll heal this land, this one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So pray for America. Pray for all the American people. So I'm going to get back on the bus and get back to Washington, D.C. and get back in the fight. And you stay in the fight here. And just know that we're never going to stop fighting. And your support today means the world. I can't wait till I get back to the White House and tell them all about all you great people I've seen today. Thank you for coming out. This is a great, great honor for me.